Can Japan prevent any downfall? A government panel of experts made headlines in July 2022 by calling Japan's declining number of births a quiet emergency. Japan's low birth rate. In 2021, births hit another record low at 810,000, marking a 60% drop from approximately 2 million in the early 1970s. Japan's low fertility rate. The total fertility rate has been below 2, which is the minimum level necessary to maintain the population. For nearly half a century, it only reached 1.30 last year. Another concern is Japan's population of an aging society. Japan is considered the world's first super-aging society. In Japan, more than 1 in 4 people are 65 or over. This covers 28.7% of the population, making up 36.17 million. Japan's population totaled 125,502,000 as of October 1, 2021, down 644,000 from a year earlier, marking the biggest decline on record, according to government data. The rapid progression of an aging society with fewer children will have a large and far-reaching impact on Japan's society, including concerns about insufficient personnel to support a science and technology-based nation, which might lead to Japan's downfall. Now, why do you think Japan's population is shrinking? The first cause is the work-life imbalance culture here in Japan. It is widely common for Japanese companies to hire young university graduates with no work experience and provide them with on-the-job training until they acquire the necessary skills. As a result, young employees in their 20s tend to be regarded as apprentices in their workplaces and are required to work overtime even on weekends. There is this concept called senpai culture. Consequently, they would have no private life outside work. Knowing that people in their 20s are desperate to get regular jobs, companies hire lots of young people and force them to work long hours. This regular job will help them build a stable income, however, it leads them to having a work-life imbalance. Japan has long had a culture of overwork. There's even a Japanese word, karoshi, for death by overwork. They also even have the term pawahara, which means power harassment from a position of power to lower subordinates. In recent years, Japanese work culture has seen a rise in harassment at the workplace owing to their traditional hierarchical-based organizational setup. Japan, though, has seen an increase in cases of power harassment being reported in court. This meant that workplace bullying is no longer being accepted at the workplace. However, up until now, the Japanese labor market and employment practices seem to lack progress in encouraging employees to live a balanced life. This prevents young people from finding partners and getting married. Even Japan's good and stable jobs can be cruel. People who hold them may earn enough money to support families, but they often don't have much time to date, or to do anything but work, sleep, and eat. The second cause from preventing Japanese to get married is having irregular jobs. This may seem surprising in Japan, a country the unemployment rate is below 3%, but about 40% of the Japanese workforce is irregular, which means they don't work for companies with a long-term goal mindset, and instead irregular employees work for different temporary and part-time jobs for a certain period of time and piece them all together their entire career. Now, Japan has this idea that men are supposed to get regular jobs. Japanese men are expected to be the breadwinners. Shigeki Matsuda, a sociology professor at Chukyo University, blames the country's falling marriage rate on a phenomenon known as hypergamy. According to him, Japanese women tend to seek men with stable employment and education levels higher than them. According to Ryosuke Nishida, a professor at Tokyo Institute of Technology, in a culture that places such an emphasis on men being breadwinners, this has serious implications for marriage and childbearing. Men who don't have regular jobs are not considered desirable marriage partners. Even if a couple wants to get married, their parents will likely oppose it. The third cause from preventing Japanese to get married is that they view family as a financial burden. Some Japanese men with stable work want to be single so they can spend their money on themselves. There is a common perception that for men, marriage means having their freedom to use money restricted. This is in direct opposition to women listing financial security as one of the benefits of getting married. This has relation to the government survey wherein it was found out that out of 4 singles in their 30s in Japan, it was revealed that some Japanese men and even women do not want to get married due to financial burden, loss of freedom, and housework-related issues. The report points out that 514,000 marriages were registered in Japan in 2021, marking the lowest annual figure ever recorded in the history. Many experts have started to point to the social phenomenon of the increasing number of unmarried people as the true cause of declining births in recent years. Now, what are measures being taken by the Japanese government? Central and local governments so far have focused their efforts in their fight against the low birth rate on supporting couples who are trying to have children. They have made several projects to tackle the decline of births. The government even went far by providing marriage subsidy up to $4,200. Local governments are also arranging matchmaking projects for single people. They hoping that these measures can encourage young Japanese people to get married and start their own family. The recent major initiative of the government is the free preschool education for age 3 to 5 years old, which was implemented last October 2019. This initiative is under the preschool subsidy program introduced by the government as an effort to reduce the burden on child-rearing households. Also in July 2022, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced an increase in the lump sum childbirth and child-rearing handout. Currently, 420,000 yen or $3,000 per child is paid mainly by health insurance associations. The government plans to increase this amount from next fiscal year. The Japanese government has launched several major initiatives since the 1990s to tackle the problem. It will take another 20 years or so for the measures against it to produce effects. The citizens of Japan must awaken to a sense of crisis right away and develop momentum to prevent Japan's downfall. The Japanese government is trying, but still, the future lies on the hand of each citizen of this nation. What's your take on this issue? Comment down below. Thank you for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informational videos.